Hey, what's up guys, Matt here. Today we're going to be doing my case investing list. Now over here we have the 5 categories and we're going to be starting off with the oldest first. Now the Bravo case, I love it, but you're going to have to sell it. Same with the regular eSports case and your Weapon 1 and your Weapon 2. These 4 are just way too expensive to have any investment potential, and the next couple are actually going to follow in there. We've got the Winter 1 and the Winter Offensive, and those 6 are just way too expensive. We can see their current price points are absolutely massive. There is zero investment potential in my opinion in this area. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now hopping on into the Weapon 3, this one's actually going to go in good but too expensive. That's because this one has a lot of demand just because it only has one covert skin at the top, which makes the pinks very valuable, which makes the ROI a little bit higher and people want to open it. Now talking about the Phoenix case, it's going to go into the I wouldn't personally category. It's a decent case, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to be one of the ones I would look to. It's got the rare knives, but it's not the most known for it. The Op Asimov and the AK Redline are good skins, but they're falling out of favor. The Huntsman case is also going to go into the I wouldn't personally. It's got a really nice stretch of skins, especially with that AK-47 Vulcan, but it's just way too expensive. It's not going into the good but too expensive. It's just going into the I wouldn't personally because I think it's a little bit above that case, because I could definitely see the Huntsman going to $15–20 relatively easily, which is not something I could see for all of these cases. Now the Breakout case is also going to go into this category because it's a very strenuous case when we talk about it. It's got a long period of stagnation, then a high period of growth, and a long period of stagnation. I really like it, but I don't think it would be at this point enough to justify an investment into it in my personal opinion. Now talking about the eSports Summer, this one's going to go into the sell. It just doesn't have any demand behind it. After that we've got the Vanguard case, and this is my first sleeper pick. I do like the Vanguard case. It doesn't have a massive unboxing amount, but it also doesn't have a massive amount of cases out there, and therefore I definitely think there is some potential when we're talking about this case. It just needs to see that movement. And after that we have the Chroma 1, which would go into the I wouldn't personally. Nothing against the Chroma 1 case, I just think there's better alternatives out there, especially for the price point. Chroma 2 is going to go a little bit behind the I wouldn't personally. It's once again in a very similar situation to the Chroma 1, but these two, I think we all know there's a third case, and honestly it's probably going to be the better alternative for a lot of people. Now talking about the Falchion case, this one unfortunately is going to go into the good but too expensive. It's one of the cheaper cases on the list, but what we see with the Falchion case is people are completely turned off from this case. The knives inside of it are terrible, the skins inside of it are terrible. There's a reason why this one has not seen a ton of movement over the past year or so. Now on the opposite side of that we have the Shadow case, and the Shadow case is actually going to go into decent investment in my opinion. This one's a little bit underrated in terms of the fact that it's got the golden coil, which is a very desirable skin, and it's obviously overshadowed by the fact that it's got Shadow Daggers. Shadow Daggers are always going to be a big looming cloud above the Shadow case, and I don't expect that to go away, but I think it's definitely one that can be improved upon if people start opening up this case in mass amounts. Now the Revolver case is definitely going to go in one of the best investments I think you can make when it comes to cases. It's got the rare OG knives, it's the cheapest form to do so, and people really like the Revolver case. I think it's a great pickup, or at least a great area to look into at the current moment. After that we've got the Wildfire case, which is a decent investment. Got that AK-47 fuel injector, and it's seen a pretty massive amount of growth in the past year. I really like this one. Now here is exactly what we were talking about. The Chroma 3 case, it's definitely going into best investment. It's the reason why Chroma 1 and Chroma 2 are going into the I wouldn't personally category, because the Chroma 3 is just better when we talk about price and when we talk about the skins inside of it. Chroma 1 and Chroma 2 don't blow me away. The Chroma 3 is not great in terms of skins, but I don't think any of the Chroma cases actually have any skins that are worthwhile for opening. Now first up here we have the Gamma 1. Now the Gamma 1 is probably going to go into a decent investment along with the Gamma 2. These two have started to sit at relatively similar price points. When we talk about unboxing numbers, these two are usually sitting somewhat similar as well. I would probably go for the Gamma 2 just because it seems like it's got a little bit more of the consumer demand, but I think these are both relatively similar. People do like these cases. After that we're going to be talking about the Glove case, and the Glove case for me goes into the sell category. It is terrible in terms of ROI. The unboxing numbers on it are okay, but I think you can find much better investments out there at the current moment than this piece of junk in my personal opinion. Now after that we have the Spectrum 1 case. It's going to go into the good but too expensive. I personally like this case, but at the price point it has, it really can't compete with the Spectrum 2 in my personal opinion. And when we look at the 1 year, the Spectrum 1 has not had the greatest path to success. Then we have the Hydra case. This one's very easy. It's a sell. I mean, the Hydra case is just so expensive. After that, we have the Spectrum 2, which is going to go up into the best investment. I think it's one of the best investments you can make. Not specifically the best investment, but I think it's a great alternative if you don't want to go with the Chroma or the Revolver. It's got a lot of those high tier finishes. It's got a lot of demand behind it. After that, we have the Clutch case, and the Clutch case is going to go into a decent investment. I love the Clutch case, but the truth about the Clutch case is the supply out there is absolutely massive, and it's going to be extremely hard for the Clutch case to overcome this. We can look at the 1 year graph, see that it hasn't had a ton of movement as of recently, and that's because it is indeed so many cases out there. It's got a very long path to success, and it's definitely on that path to success, but that's not today. Then we have the Horizon case, who's going to be following right up the Clutch case. I like the Horizon case. I think it's definitely one of the more decent investments you can make, but it's shadowed once again by its older brother, which is the Danger Zone case. It's going to go up into the best investment. Danger Zone case once again just blows everything the Horizon case has out of the water. Danger Zone case has got much more unboxings. After that, we've got my beloved Prisma 1 case. Prisma 1 is going to go into one of the best investments for me personally, just because I think it's got such a strong unboxing demand, but it's also got a very strong long-term demand. We've seen this case for a long period of time, and I think it's definitely one that's not going to just fade out into irrelevancy. Now, the same cannot be said for the CS20 case. This is going to go into the I wouldn't personally. There's a lot of people that have found great success in the CS20 case, myself included, but the fact is I just don't really like this case. I'm very scared that the entire premise of this case, in my opinion, has just been built up on hype. After that, we've got the Shattered Web case. I love the Shattered Web case, but it's definitely got to go into the good but too expensive. I mean, let's be completely honest here. Shattered Web case is definitely one that I really appreciate, but it's extremely expensive. Then we've got the Prisma 2 case, which has got to go into the best investment as well. This one's got pretty much everything the Prisma 1 case has to offer and a little bit more. The Prisma 1 case is a great investment, but I think the Prisma 2 case at this point is an even better investment just because the demand for this case is a little bit higher than the Prisma 1. Then we've got the Fracture case. This one is actually going to go in good but too expensive. It's an active duty case, you got to remember, and honestly, in my opinion, I don't see a very strong long term for this case unless we see the price start to go down a little bit. Then we've got the Broken Fang case, which is actually going to go into the I wouldn't personally category. It's a really good investment because the supply on this thing is starting to run out relatively quick. With that being said, it's still extremely expensive. The Snakebite case is also going to go into the I wouldn't personally category. I'm not someone that, at least at this point, is going to be investing into any active duty cases, but if I was, the Snakebite is definitely the one I would be looking at just because it is the cheapest option. The next one is the Riptide case. I'm going to put it in the good but too expensive. I like this case, but it's just way too expensive at a $6-7 price point, and it's seen such massive growth that I don't think the investment potential on this one is really that strong. And finally, our last three cases are going to go into the sell category. They're just really not too memorable enough to go ahead and be able to defy the laws of being an active duty case in my personal opinion. But that's all I got. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.